it's James from Coolsmartphone here, and this week we have something slightly cheaper than the last couple of weeks, something slightly smaller as well. It's the Alcatel Pop 2 4.5 4G to give it its full complete name, and it basically is a £100 budget plastic entry-level Snapdragon 410 sort of basic cheap device. But as always, there's a problem, and manufacturers forget that Motorola exists, and yeah, that's the root of this phone's problem, the Motorola Moto E. So quickly run you down what you get in the design and spec wise, and the software, and that will be covered in the full review on Coolsmartphone. So this, as I say, is the Alcatel Pop 2 4.5 4G, and what you get is a smallish device. It's a 4.5-inch display, which used to seem massive, but these days is quite small. It's only a 2-point multi-touch display, so it's quite disappointing in the sensitivity stakes. That combined with the processor makes typing with two hands virtually impossible, so it's very much a one-handed device. Layout on the device is very much standard, basic sort of Alcatel stuff. Micro USB microphone on the bottom. In the bottom corner there we have the fingernail hole, which you use to pull the back off basically. The back is plastic, it's removable, it gives you access to the micro SD, the micro SIM, and the removable battery. At the bottom there you have the single speaker. Not the best sounding, yeah, it's just what you'd expect really. The back is incredibly fingerprint attractive. That was cleaned about 15 minutes ago and I've not touched it much since then. This side of the phone you get the power button at the bottom, volume rocker above that. On the front of this device you get a lot of fingerprints. I'll turn it on so you can see, but at the bottom of the phone you get capacitive buttons. At the top up here we have the earpiece, front facing camera, there's some sensors, there's a notification light in this top corner, which is quite handy. Yeah, at the top of the phone, not much going on, just the headphone socket, secondary microphone. Left hand side, absolutely nothing on the phone, and that's about it design wise. I'll just take the back off and show you what's inside. It's quite an easy back to remove. You get an Alcatel branded battery. As you can see, it's 2000 mAh. Reasonable battery in light usage. Under heavy usage you'll kill it by lunchtime, but light usage I got nearly 2 days out of it, with about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 screen on time, so that's pretty reasonable standby time for this sort of device. It's a micro SIM slot in the middle, micro SD slot next to it. Camera's there, it's a 5-megapixel camera, which isn't amazing. Flash is next to it. Headphone socket, which you can see up there, lots of tape all over the place, and then the speaker box at the bottom down there. It's reasonably solidly built device. There's no sort of nasty bits on it, I guess you could call them. But the main problem with it is the what Alcatel have spec'd it with. It's a Snapdragon 410 processor, quad core running at 1.2 GHz, running on Android 4.4, so it should all be okay. It's just the 2-point multi-touch display really makes it difficult to use, and as I say, typing's tough and so on and so forth. Spec wise, a few other key points. It's got LTE, which is nice, so you can pick up 4G networks in the UK. 4G has quite a lot of different bands. There are it's got quite a lot of different bands actually. Yeah, I won't list all of them. There's a whole long list of compatible bands it has, which is nice to see. So, spec-wise then, as I say, 4.5-inch display. It's a 480 by 854 pixels, which gives it a 218 ppi pixel density. As I say, 2-point multi-touch display, 4.4.2, Snapdragon 410, quad-core running at 1.2 with an Adreno 306 processor. MicroSD slot in the back, compatible up to 32GB. 8GB internal memory, which gives you about 5 out of the box left. Which you can, as you saw, there's a microSD slot. Rear camera is 5 megapixels. The front camera is just classed as VGA. Let's just see if there's any other key points in the spec we need to point out. It's only the slightly slower Wi-Fi, so it's BGN Wi-Fi. Yeah, and that's about it really spec-wise. The only other thing is the 2000 mAh battery. And it's available in a load of different colours. Currently about £100. It's available on a variety of different websites. And as I say, it's about £100, which puts it price-wise above the slightly older Motorola devices. Things like the Moto E, already running Lollipop, so it's a no-brainer, and that has 4G, microSD, and yes, slightly smaller internal memory. So yeah, personally I'd go for the Moto E because it would have a better quality display, and you actually be able to type on it with 2 hands. So yeah, that's been the Alcatel Pop 2 4.5 4G. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do like the video. Feel free to subscribe, and if you didn't like the video, please leave us some feedback and we shall endeavour to improve in future weeks. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.